Hello, everybody, and welcome again to Procrastinator's Pit Stop. I am sitting here with Prerak Mehta, who is the founder of NetMafia, a web design and SEO marketing agency, and a seasoned educator with over 38,000 Udemy students, known for his top-rated course portfolio that helps local businesses thrive online. Combining his engineering expertise with marketing acumen and his Mumbai base, he empowers businesses to generate consistent leads through innovative SEO strategies. Prerak, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Chris, for the amazing introduction. I've been really looking forward to being on your show. I remember we had scheduled this podcast many, many months ago, but due to some misunderstanding, we had to reschedule to this day. So, really excited to be here, and thank you for having me.
Well, we're excited to have you here, and we're really excited to dive into it. But before we do dive into it, we like to have an icebreaker on the show. And the question for you today is, which cartoon character do you resonate with the most, and why?
I think it would be Tom and Jerry because I have a younger brother with me, and we fight a lot, and we are just like Tom and Jerry. And, we love each other a lot. But there's always times where we are just, messing around with each other and making sure that we make each other's life hell. So that's just on the exterior side, but internally we love each other very much. So I grew up watching a lot of different cartoons. I'm not sure if those cartoons are something which people in America watch or not. I used to watch a lot of Doraemon, Pokemon, and Spider-Man obviously has been my favorite superhero as ever since I was a kid. But I don't think I've reached that level to be, comparable to a superhero. So we'll keep that aside for a second.
Okay. Well, I like Tom and Jerry, and yeah, we watched Pokemon and Digimon and actually Yu-Gi-Oh! I think it was too. So yeah, we had all those as well. So let's slide into the topic at hand here. How would you define procrastination, and what does it mean to you personally?
I think procrastination is something which, everyone, like including myself, it happens to all of us every now and then where we just are so much, feel that we are exhausted, we are burnt out from the work, and we just want to procrastinate and delay things and lingering on to another day, to, another week. But it's just sign of weakness, and it's just something that you're trying to escape from the difficult things that you actually have to do. So I think that's procrastination for me. I've been trying really hard for the past couple of months to not procrastinate, the task list that I have set for the day. And eventually I tried to, do all the most difficult things that I'm supposed to do and that day at the very beginning of my day. So that's how I like to plan out my day and complete all the tasks. So I think procrastination is something which, is something that we always try to overcome, but it just doesn't happen that easily. We have to work for it.
I like that. So would you say that your secret sauce for overcoming procrastination is putting those most difficult tasks or the ones you really don't want to do right at the beginning of the day?
Correct. I think Eat the Frog is the book which I think almost everyone recommends when it comes to, productivity and ending the procrastination and delay. And moreover, I think procrastination boils down to your not willingness to do that thing. And it's probably because either that task is not that important for you, or maybe it's not that urgent. That's the reason why you think you can procrastinate. So I think you should, have that four quadrants on a piece of paper or a whiteboard where you can manage all the different tasks and make sure that you place them in the correct quadrant, whether it's important, non-important, urgent, non-urgent, and then you'll just know which task needs to be done. If you are procrastinating it, it's probably because it doesn't lie in your top priority list. So I think that's about answering your question.
I like that, and the block matrices can also help with that as well for sure. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got into your journey and how you got into SEO and creating a course and now having over 38,000 students?
Sure. I mean, it's all started back in 2020. I was 18 years old, and COVID pandemic had hit just worldwide. And India, where I stay, there was a nationwide lockdown for about a year. So everyone, including myself, was really passionate about their careers and wanted to achieve something. We knew that we can't just rely on the online college semesters and the lectures that are going on. So we have to upskill ourselves. We have to lean towards online education, and that's what I did. I took my very first course on Udemy because Udemy courses are really cheap. They're really affordable. You have lifetime access to it. And I started enrolling in a few of the courses to learn how to build Android applications. Now, although the instructors were damn good on whatever they taught about, but I just couldn't digest all those content pieces because it was way above my level. I didn't have the strong foundation built before I jumped into that course. So while I was learning through these courses, I realized that there was an option to teach on that platform on Udemy. So that got me thinking, is that so easy to teach on these platforms? Because I had this kind of an impression that only, university level professors and someone who have, won some sort of accolades or achievements or awards, only they are allowed to post their courses on these platforms. So that got me thinking. I explored more and more about it. And I realized that it's not that difficult as I assumed it to be. So for the next few months, I, was introspecting myself. I was asking myself, what skills do I currently possess? What can I passionately teach about? How do I make a course? And so on. And the only thing that came across my mind was C++. It's a programming language that was taught in our college semester. And since my educational background is in engineering, so that's what we were taught. So I spent the next 9 months to build this entire course. I was figuring everything by myself, how to film the lectures through screen recording, how to first outline your course structure, script the videos and lectures, and first of all find the hidden gaps which other courses have, so that your course stands out from the market. Otherwise it's no point of your course being sold on the platform, whereas there are so many already top ranking out there. Figuring out how to edit these videos, how to edit the audio. And then the very first time I was exposed to SEO when I was building this course, because essentially a pre-recorded online course is a digital product, right? And if you want to sell it on an autopilot mode, you have to learn different marketing strategies. And Udemy, where most of the traffic and enrollments comes through their organic traffic and search, I think it's very important for an instructor to understand the concept of SEO, optimize their course for the best search possible, and then just wait for the cannonball effect to roll. So that's when I was first exposed to SEO. Later on, as the years went by, I was passing different semesters in my college. I was building more and more courses. I was getting few freelance opportunities into web design and stuff. And I realized that building websites is something which is really important, because business will definitely need a website to. I was saying that building websites is really important, and to have as a business owner is really important because it's a sales machine. But in order to fuel the sales machine, you either need to run it with a paid ads campaign or through SEO marketing campaign. So through internships, I was exposed to, marketing, SEO marketing, software development, testing, project management, and different aspects of how it takes to run a business and what it takes to work in all these different areas. Because interning in these different companies was mandatory as part of our college semester. So that made me realize that, I can teach passionately about programming, coding, but when it comes to actually building these apps in a company isn't something that I would enjoy doing for the rest of my life. So that's when I decided that I want to start my own marketing agency. I would build websites for local businesses and help them scale online through SEO marketing strategy. I know my answer was pretty comprehensive, but it's just been my journey so far.
No, I like that. And it sounds like that you took all those things and you went to the Udemy and you learned, and then you created a business out of that. And that's really commendable, because, many people would strive to do that, but many people who have ideas for small businesses, they procrastinate mainly because
Exactly, they procrastinate.
yeah, mainly because they don't know how to do SEO, or they don't know what SEO is or how to build a website.
I think it's not more about how, because when I started off, there weren't many, resources or different tutorials on how to build and sell a course. Because the market actually, if you take a look at the trends, this entire course creation market, the course economy actually boomed after the pandemic, because when they realized this, because when people were, staying at their home, they wanted to lean towards. So the supply was really low of these courses. The demand was very high. And when the pandemic, I would say, kind of, the world was, moving forward and things got better, that's when people came more in public and started teaching about how to build different courses. So I don't think it's more about how, not about figuring out how to do it, but more like just taking that risk and just jumping in, and not just waiting for the right time to come and just moving out of the comfort zone. I think that's the biggest thing that one needs to do in order to avoid procrastination, is to step out of your comfort zone. Just dive in the swimming pool. Even if you don't know how to swim, there's just two possibilities. You're either going to sink or swim. Most likely you're going to swim because you want to, and even if you sink, that's not an issue, because it isn't like a real do or die situation.
No, I like that. Just dive into it and then, kind of adjust as you go along, right?
Correct. I think for many, not just this, I mean, there are so many different fields and industries and niche where there isn't so much resources and mentors available for free on the internet. So you pretty much have to figure out by yourself while you're doing these things. So I think learning while earning is the best thing that can happen to a person, and not just staying stuck in that learning loop. So I think that's how you avoid that procrastination and dealing stuff.
And where would you recommend starting if somebody wants to maybe create a course and they want
Mm-hmm.
to learn how to do this? I mean, obviously you have information on how to help them, but
Correct.
before that, they have to figure out, what they want to do, how they want to present it and all that stuff. So would you recommend any tools to do that with?
Sure. So first and foremost, when let's just say there's a person who just came across this podcast, now he thought that this might be a good passive income source for him to produce courses and just put it online, but he doesn't know where to start. He doesn't know what to teach. So I think the first big step that you need to make is to just bring out a piece of paper, a pen, and write 2 columns. The first one where you write all the work experience that you have had in your life, where you interned, where you worked in a company, a startup, freelancing, whatever you have done so far, just list out all those different things. And right beside that, in another column, you list out what other skills would be required to do that particular kind of job. So you're essentially not just, coming out of the blue that, okay, I'm going to teach about, let's just say, Python programming. No, you have to first analyze what you have worked so far that you can passionately teach about. Because teaching often comes from your own experience. When I'm just reading out content from a textbook or a simple blog articles and blabbering things out, people are gonna, pull out my BS and they're gonna say and leave negative reviews. So it's not gonna help me in long term. What is really important is to teach something which you have experienced and in which you have worked in real. So I think that's the first step you could take. Next, once you have analyzed different skills, you can go to Udemy. Udemy has an amazing tab called as Udemy Insights, Marketplace Insights, wherein you can just enter particular skill set, all the skills that you would want to make a course on, and then you'll get all the data on what the student demand is for that particular topic, how much supply of those courses are there on that platform, how much median average earning is there, how much top performers make, how many enrollments are going to the top rated courses, and which are the keywords that you would want to rank for that particular course. You'd see that you'll find the top 5 courses which Udemy finds that these are the best performing. You can find the hidden gaps in all those by going through their curriculum, their promo video, their landing page, and you can then start figuring out that how to build this course. So I think the first step is to first test the waters and see whether it's even profitable to start this or not. Otherwise, I'll be here making a 10-hour long course, spending up 100 hours to build this and editing it. And in the end, if it's not going to make even 2 or 3 digit, figure in terms of my passive income, I don't think it would make sense for me to spend those hours and effort into this thing.
But I wonder as well, because there are free courses on Udemy too as well, right?
Correct. But they are restricted to about only max to max, as far as I know. The free courses are only allowed to be about 2 hours of video content. You cannot have more than that.
So when you make a free course, you can only have 2 hours of video content, but if you
Max.
charge for it,
Yes.
you can have more.
Yes, that's correct.
Interesting.
Although when you are publishing a course which is going to be, paid, you can offer free coupons, like it's like a free access to that course so that you get the initial traction and see how the students are finding your course. But it isn't something which, it's going to keep your course for free for a lifetime. The course coupon have their expiry date for about 5 days or 30 days, depending on how many enrollments will you get. If you want 1,000 students to come in for free, there is about 5 days of, time duration where the Udemy allows you to get those traffic. If you want to offer maybe 100 maximum enrollments for free, you have the duration of 30 days to, send out that. So I think you have to figure out whether you want to keep the course for completely free or you want to charge and get the initial traffic for free.
Well, I was just thinking about, having the free course, and then maybe I'm using this term incorrectly, but have it as like a lead magnet for,
Hmm.
whatever else your business is.
Correct, correct. Yeah, I mean, so there are many different businesses that do this. Some even, as what I'll say is marketplaces like Udemy, Skillshare, and there are so many others. These are very low ticket courses. What I mean by low ticket courses is because the sale price of these courses are not more than 15-20 bucks, and what you're trying to educate through is the basic to intermediate level of the course content. The advanced level is still what the cream of the top instructors would do on their high-end coaching programs, where they would teach one-on-one live sessions, and they would often use these low ticket courses as a lead magnet and distribute through their opt-in forms. So I think it really depends on your marketing strategy and how you're thinking from long-term perspective. But if you want to monetize your content and your learnings very quickly, I think these platforms are a really great way to do it. Because if you're going the route of YouTube first, then building and generating audience, and then trying to upsell them, it's going to take a lot of time, and there's no guarantee success over there. Whereas on Udemy and Skillshare, you get paid for the royalties and commission for each and every sale.
So you think it's easier to actually go and create the program first and then try to build the following and the followers on
Correct. I mean,
YouTube
it's
or
it's
Instagram?
it's very simple. Like, marketing is always there to amplify your existing product or service. When you're just out in the market, to first market yourself and then you try to pitch your product or service, what might happen is that the audience who have been following you for so long, chances are they are now following to other creators similar in your niche or who are your direct competitors, and now they are selling the product or service and they are buying their offerings. When you already have a product or service ready and you are then going out and marketing, there are high chances that your conversion rates are going to be pretty good from the very start.
No, yeah, I can see that. I can see that's one way to do it. How would you recommend making these courses? I mean, do you use Canva? Do you use PowerPoint? Do you use some other expensive software? What do you use?
It really depends on what kind of course content you actually want to create. Because if you take a look at the catalog and different, topics and the pool of different courses that Udemy offers, it's not just restricted to a very technical side of things like Excel, PowerPoint, or programming. You can just go crazy with communication skills, how to podcast. That's what we are doing right now. So I think it's up to your topic and how your audience would find the most value out of it. So it could be through a simple screen recording with the help of Loom or other OBS Studio or any other free platforms out there, wherein you are showing how to code or how to do stuff within your computer. If your course requires, the content requires to have a full blown video like how we see on YouTube, the talking head videos kind of thing, you might require, I wouldn't say to actually spend and go ahead and get a DSLR, because it's going to take a lot of learning curve and upfront investment. But I think getting started with your any smartphone, because these days smartphone cameras are really good. So the most important piece of your course would be audio than video. So this thing I've realized while making this courses, because don't focus a lot on your video, focus on audio, because that's through what you're going to teach. So invest in a good microphone before you start making a course. You could eventually then progress when you start generating revenue. You can then maybe invest in a good DSLR or a good point and shoot camera or an iPhone. But when you're just starting out, I think working around with existing equipment is the go-to strategy I would suggest, and that's what I did. So yeah, that's that.
And it, one of the things that I'm sure everybody's asking too is, there are thousands of courses, and you mentioned that you have to stand out. And I think you touched on this briefly before about how to stand out. You find the gaps in the other courses, and then you cover those gaps.
Correct. So that's the content. That's the course content where you're going to cover the hidden gaps, what others, top performers are not teaching and which you think you can teach, and some secret sauces that you have to offer that others are not offering. So that's the hidden gap within the course content. Now, when you're actually trying to get the initial, traction to your course, it would be more on your promotional video, the course trailer, or, the promotional ad video of your course. Because, in the end of the day, this is a digital product, video-based digital product. Like even today, if I were to, find which movie I want to watch this summer, I will obviously go to YouTube and watch their trailer first and see if I find the movie entertaining enough to, spend my money going to the theater and spending 2.5 hours of my time to watch that movie. So I think you have to pretty much plan out your course promotional video strategically, wherein within the 90 seconds, which the Udemy says that it's the ideal length that your promo video should be, you cover what you're going to teach about, what's your USP, what the students will learn about. Make the offer like no-brainer, like because Udemy offers a 30-day money-back guarantee. Once you pay for the course, you have lifetime access to it, so you can just re-watch the lectures over and over again. Plus, any updates an instructor makes, the already existing students gets access to it. So if I'm paying just $10 for a course and the instructor decides to maybe add 10 hours of video lectures a year down the line, I'm getting those additional 10 hours of video content for practically free because I paid a year ago. So you have to put out what unique you have to offer, what your students will learn from your course. And that's about marketing, to stand out, to make the best sales version of your course within that 90 seconds of your video.
And let's just touch on the promotion afterwards. You mentioned marketing, so that of course we have paid marketing, and of course we have also SEO. Now, normally you do, if you can, you do a little bit of both together. Is that right? Or is it better to just do one or the other?
So what I'd say, and based on my research, I personally haven't tried investing in paid ad campaign to promote my courses, simply because the fact is that, first of all, the course price, if you opt in with the Udemy's partner program, wherein the Udemy will decide the price of your course, not you. So whether the course will be sold for 500 rupees, which comes down to about $3 or $4 US based currency, and if the same course is being sold to a person living in the United States, it's going to cost them 10 or 12 bucks. So Udemy prices the courses based on their purchasing power parity factor, based on how much that person can spend from his country. So you don't have control over the pricing. Plus, they run their sales every now and then. So the course could maybe touch $20, could drop down to about $5, $6, $7, $8, $9. So you can't really control the pricing. And when the course is being sold through Udemy, you fetch 37% of the course sale. So you're left with very low margins. And when you're trying to run ad campaign for it, where the CPC, which is basically cost per click for each and every click that you're going to generate for your course, it's always going to be more than what you're going to earn from your course sale. Yes, when you apply your own instructor link, affiliate link, you fetch 97% of the commission sale. But what happens most of the time is people watch your ads through Facebook, YouTube, through Google. They might even click on your ad, but it's not always certain that they will complete the checkout process and purchase your course. So once that click happens, you are spending on your marketing and there's no guarantee of that sale. So I think, plus, even if, let's just say, maybe because they are not satisfied with your course content, they are going to refund, they're going to ask for a refund, and for which you are going to be, affected by it. So essentially, you'll be bleeding more in paid ads to promote your Udemy courses more than you would actually earn through Udemy's own marketing strategies. The point over here, publishing your course on these marketplaces, is to have these courses market on your behalf and not you doing any active marketing campaigns. This is what all instructors talk about on their community platform, because Udemy has its own instructor community where you can find all the other instructors helping each other out. So that's what they have to say about it, and that's their advice, which I've taken a bit seriously. But I personally haven't tried investing in a paid ad campaign or even SEO, because SEO takes time. It's a long-term marketing strategy. You have to spend a lot, because once you start ranking for particular keywords and you start getting traction, even if you were to decide to maybe stop spending any more on SEO, you will still get results. And like paid ad campaign, wherein you stop paying for those ad budget, for those ad clicks, the results will drop. So both of these marketing strategies, the paid ads, whereas it's going to help you get the achieve your short-term goals. For SEO, it's going to be long-term. But at the end of the day, when the actual product which is being sold for is going to be so low and low tier, it wouldn't make sense to invest in marketing campaign. I am actually planning to, since I run my own SEO marketing agency, I am actually planning to start a website which solely focuses on publishing content on the programming courses that I've posted, and just see this as an experiment on how much ROI I can get from promoting my Udemy courses through SEO marketing. And maybe I wish I could prove these other instructors out there wrong, but let's see. Let's see. I'm yet to test these out. So I think it would take about another 8 to 9 months to see what the result is.
And just talking about SEO, I know there's been a lot of kind of not necessarily confusion, but uncertainty in the market about the future of SEO because as I'm sure you've seen it a lot, AI tools are coming out now. One of the common questions that I've seen is that, well, okay, if I put out 10 articles, based around this keyword, but my competitor puts out 20, then I then I put out 40, then the other person puts out 80, then the other person puts out 160. Do you see any point where is it pure numbers or is there some other factor as well?
Well, what you just said is completely, a rumor, or I wouldn't say rumor, but more like people's misconception. This isn't how SEO actually works. It's not about the volume game for the piece of content, but more like, fulfilling the EEAT framework of Google. So I'll just give a brief on how the ranking factor works on Google or any of the search engines, especially after the AI tools have been coming out in the public and it's so accessible and free for people to, publish content at a scale for completely free of cost. So that the point that you raised over here is something which everyone discusses, but it's not at all true. So I would just like to put it out there. So anyone thinks that it's about the numbers game on putting out how many different blog posts I can push on my website and it's going to help me rank. No, it's not that. For Google, it ranks web pages, not websites. Web page, I mean, is that a particular page or a post on your website which helps, which gets ranked for a particular keyword. So again, we are talking about a keyword, a particular phrase term, and it ranks based on the EEAT framework, which basically stands for experience, your experience on that topic, expertise, how much authoritativeness you hold, and how much trust you can establish with your viewers. So these are the 4 key frameworks that Google wants you to establish, and then only it starts to rank for those particular keywords. And how you could essentially do it, it doesn't matter how many different blog pieces or the number of blog posts that you put out. Actually, if you were to do that, Google might just flag your website as spam and think that you're just using a black hat SEO tactics where you're just pushing out AI-based content. Well, you could push out AI-based content because Google doesn't care if the content is human written or AI. Even the AI detector tools out there are not that up to the mark where it can differentiate whether this has been human generated or AI generated, because I've been testing, different AI tools and I've been able to bypass these detectors with the help of creating AI content. So it's pretty easy to, manipulate these different detectors. They are stupid and they just don't work like how we think that they work. So the most important thing is in SEO, first and foremost, to do a comprehensive keyword research and to figure out and map a topical cluster. So let's say I am into SEO marketing niche. So I would first try and see which industries I can target to and who would actually require SEO. So that would be my sales page, the most bottom of the funnel stage in the marketing funnel. Then I would move up and form other content pieces wherein I compare my services with my competition and set up my USP. So that's going to be my middle of the funnel stage and create, something like which would help me get warm leads or turn those cold leads into warm leads. So those are the keywords that I would try to figure out and create a list of those keywords. And then I would then move at the top of the funnel stage wherein I will find informational search intent based keywords wherein I expect the users to just get the information and get the answer to that question and nothing else. I am not trying to sell my product or service right away. I'm just trying to help the users out. That's what my entire intention is. And that's how I generate cold leads. Now, when a lead comes or enters in that stage wherein they are reading my information-based blog post, they might find other blog pieces because I interlink them. I mentioned that other piece of content in that informational piece of content within that content. So I have to structure it out and line it in a chain format. So, you are linking each other content pieces. So that's really important. Next is to signal to Google that I am authoritativeness. I hold this authority in this domain and in this niche. And how do I do that? I get from backlinks. So backlink essentially is a link from another person's website or a web page who is linking to my blog post. And that's how essentially form, because internet at the end of the day is a collection of different web pages on the world. It's interconnected. It's a web. If you take a look at the web, how it's structured, that's how similarly our web pages and websites are pretty much structured and laid out. So you have to, put up your unique points. You have to format your entire structure in a way where you are sharing something different, what AI simply couldn't answer. So just to give a very basic example, let's say if I am looking to find how to fix my faucet, okay, how to fix that with tools which are there at my home and not purchase any expensive tools out there from another shop. So if I am putting out the content, a step-by-step format, in a very easy format, in a very simple English language, wherein I share step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4 with images, and not just any stock photos, but more like GIFs type, where I am actually showing how to do this. So that's how I am able to establish my expertise in that topic. I share my experience through case studies, through the testimonials that I get from my clients and from my customers. Trust I build through having different social presence, social media accounts, and through backlinks. So this is the entire thing of SEO. It's very comprehensive, it's very complicated, and people have their own misconceptions about AI being in the market and disrupting the SEO industry, whereas it's not actually true at all. In fact, just a few days ago, I'm not sure if you have come across this news, but Chegg, which is basically a platform wherein students post up their, homework questions or their academic questions where other students can help them in exchange for money. So Chegg is a platform which mainly relies on the content which other parties discuss. With AI overviews and AI search, Chegg has been affected a lot. So Chegg did file a lawsuit against Google AI overviews, and so it would be interesting to see whether AI overviews is going to be relevant in the near future or they are going to shut down that kind of a feature. So SEO isn't going anywhere. It's a long-term thing. When you want to search something, you're not going to ask an AI. Search engine is basically like a local directory. It's a book, a collection of pages, wherein the index is where you are finding the chapters of different chapters in the entire book. So that's what a search engine is. When you ask a robot, an AI, it's using semantic knowledge. Again, that knowledge is coming from the existing web pages on the internet. So essentially the data that is being there out on the internet, it is generated by us people. So AI alone, when it can't do anything, if it is going to show you an output, it is expecting some input from you. So, I know I took a lot of time to answer this entire question, but I think it was needed because there's a lot of misconceptions out there for SEO.
No, and I appreciate you taking the time to do a deep dive into it. Actually, that last point actually touched on something that I've heard this from other people, is that when there's the new ChatGPT search, right? And like you said, it takes information from the website, and even Google does this to it used to do it to a certain extent. It shows you the sources of where it got the information, but isn't there some concern where if somebody can go to ChatGPT, look up the answer, or Bing or wherever, right? And it shows you the source of where it got the information. What if it answered the information and nobody goes to your website? Do you think there might be some drop-off in traffic from that?
Sure. So I'd like to answer that also. So this AI search and ChatGPT search AI overviews has been in the market for the past 6 or 9 months max to max, if I'm pretty sure about it. But even before that, Google had featured snippet feature where it was just extracting out that particular piece of content from the entire blog post or article and answering to the user, and it was citing the source. So it isn't something like which is restricting users to actually click to your website, but rather more that how invested people are. Like if I get my answer through the AI overview or through the ChatGPT answer, and I'm pretty satisfied with it, then I probably wasn't the ideal customer or the ideal client that the webmaster, the site owner actually wanted to target. I probably was a freeloader in certain sense. If I was genuinely interested to dive deep into the matter and understand what it actually takes to, do this particular thing, like just how I talked about fixing a faucet. If I actually wanted to see the different images, if I wanted to see how to maybe prevent from happening this in the future, I would click on that source website and take a look at, other blog articles connected. But if I just wanted a quick solution right now, I was probably not the ideal client or customer for that particular business owner who used the SEO marketing strategy. So you have to analyze that the core of marketing is to not focus on the clicks, but more on the ROI aspects, or not also ROI aspects because it's very hard to track, but more like how much qualified leads you get through these marketing strategies. Because if you don't have any opt-in forms or landing pages wherein you're collecting your visitors' email address or their phone numbers, you are essentially just wasting your time and money in these different marketing campaigns. You want to capture those leads so that in future you could promote your different offerings through email marketing, through SMS marketing, because now you have a list or a set of database of warm leads, qualified leads. It would be stupid of me to let go of that leads if I don't have my opt-in forms in place. So I think it's really important for me to have some sort of a free offering, a freebie, a checklist, or a template, an ebook, or maybe a short course, a webinar. It could be anything, but you need to have those places, those things right in place, and maybe an access to your newsletter. So it really depends on how you are actually maximizing the efforts. I have been through many different networking events like BNI. So people over there, when I tried to pitch my offerings, they had to say is that we spend this much for not just SEO but also on social media, but it didn't help us. This is what's helping us to network market and be one-on-one. But when I asked them that what exactly happened when you hired this agency or this freelancer to do this particular thing for you, what did they do? And they are like, they did this, that did that, and that's all. So I asked, so that's isn't like a custom strategy that they curated for you. It's something like they sold you a commodity. They just, were being a contractor for you, making you feel like you're not being out of the circle, or you're not, just leveraging your FOMO, and taking up advantage of you not missing out on those things which your competition is doing. But where in fact, it didn't really help you because your strategy was not in place. You were just putting out things randomly just to do that thing, but not in a way which actually helps you. So that's really important. Even for SEO, and I think it's pretty much for every marketing strategy. You can't have a one size fits all solution. You need to have and take customized approach where you first understand what the business is all about, what kind of service locations or areas that they offer, what kind of products or services do they offer, what is the USP, and then proceed further with the different stages of SEO.
Well, that's certainly some good information. I appreciate you taking the time to lay that out because a lot of people really don't. This has been a really interesting conversation, Prerak, and I could probably go on for this for like another hour, but we are coming up pretty close to the time. Is there anything that you wish I would have asked but didn't ask, or anything that we should have covered but didn't cover today?
I mean, as you said, if we were to talk about this, we could extend to maybe another hour or so. So, because I'm really passionate about this, I really love what I do. So, I could just talk about, I have so many things that I would love to talk about, but I think we are restricted with time. So, before we end this, I'd love to offer a free SOP guide, which I've built, which is a 21-page SOP document specifically made for local businesses who want to get started with SEO, but they don't really have a big budget or don't really know what it would take to step into the SEO world. So through this guide, they can get started with, even if they don't have a website, that's all right. They need to have a Google business profile in place. And I go over it, how to optimize it to get the local leads and optimize the best possible way you can. If you're trying to build a website or get your website built through different agencies like us at NetMafia, we also build websites. So how should a homepage look like for a perfect conversion rate? How should a service page should look like? So these are all the things that I have made in an infographic format, sharing my screenshots, the different sketches and draws that I've made, and I've put all those screenshots in that entire document. So I'd love to share it with your audience. And obviously, I'll be sharing the links to my courses as well so that they can learn how to leverage different AI tools for SEO, how to build websites with WordPress, a link to my website as well. So if they would like to just outsource this work, they can hire us. And if any person who is aspiring to be an entrepreneur, they can catch up on me on YouTube. I'm just documenting my journey over there and putting out what I do in my company, how I get clients, how I work with clients, and what SEO strategies that I do, which is actually helping me get results. So that's what I am doing across all these different platforms.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. And we'll grab those links from you and we'll put them in the show notes. So, to all our listeners, don't worry. We are going to put those in the show description for you so that you'll be able to find them really easily. Thank you. Thank you so much for being on the show today and for all your expertise and the time that you've taken to answer the questions. And again, to all our listeners, thank you for tuning in. And just remember, if you can't find that motivation or inspiration for yourself today, maybe just go out and be that motivation and inspiration for someone else. And we'll see you again next time.